Crack team of detectives unleashed by police administration to flash out miscreant officers secretly fleecing the state using yet to be implemented spot fine regime as cover.
The spot fine regime is not as yet in force, and that anybody who presents himself as such, as an officer of the service or any officer at all, implementing the said spot fine.
Tonight we have details of a police public alert as the administration turns the heat on the fraudulent men in uniform.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services, your success, our passion. Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection, and Blue Rose Limited, shelter for all. It is a massive police operation led by a team of detectives with a single objective: to locate and flash out miscreant policemen and women, secretly and illegally enforcing the spot fine regime. In a strongly worded statement released to the media today, the police administration says it has credible information some officers are perpetrating fraud on the public using the yet to be implemented motorist spot fine as a cover. The administration has unleashed a team of detectives to flash out the unscrupulous officers. We will shortly hear from the Director of Police Public Affairs, DSP Cephas Arthur. But first, my colleague Fred Smith joins me in the studio with details of this particular statement. Thank you very much, Fred. It appears the police administration has some information about officers who are fleecing the state using the spot fine regime as a cover.
Yeah, the statement actually talks about the spot fine regime, and the intention is to implement it towards the latter part of May 2013. However, it appears that the police administration has found some of its men who appear to be extorting money from members of the public, and they describe them here as miscreant policemen and women who are presenting themselves as implementing the spot fine regime.
Do we know how the police intend to flash out these men?
Well, they have sent out some police officers who are going to be finding out what their men are doing on the ground. So there are detectives that will be investigating officers who have been sent out to man traffic lights and others to see how they're doing their job. If they're found to be extorting money in the name of the spot fine, then some sanctions will come.
Thank you very much, Fred. We can now speak to DSP Cephas Arthur, Director of Police Public Affairs. Thank you, DSP Arthur. What we just heard is a strongly worded statement. This must be pretty bad, correct?
That's bad.
Hello, DSP Arthur.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm responding.
I can hear you. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. We just had what you can describe fairly as a pretty strongly worded statement. This must be pretty bad, correct?
No, that's not really the case. It is only to warn the general public about what is likely to befall them. So it's not necessarily because it is that bad. That is why we are coming out with this. We serve the people, and we wouldn't want the people to suffer any such mishap.
Did you have any basis, say, of actual reports confirmed of men in uniform trying to dupe the public using the spot fine regime that is yet to be implemented?
Exactly so. It has come to the attention of the notice that some police officers, whether they are truly police officers or people who are just impersonating police, one cannot really tell. But what is important is that we need to, as it were, forewarn our numerous customers or clients, so to speak, about what is likely to befall them, so that they will be wary and avoid falling prey to such unscrupulous individuals.
Have you been able to confirm any of these reports?
Well, not that I can lay a finger on for now, but I guess the administration is quite concerned about it, and we have heard reports as to how some people parading themselves as police officers or policemen and women trying to take advantage of the advertised spot fine issue and taking some money or extorting some money from drivers in the name of spot fine.
We will shortly talk about that spot fine regime in detail shortly, but why did you choose to issue a statement when you could have quietly, based on intelligence, apprehended these officers, if indeed it's true, and dealt with them? Because this statement will just tip off these miscreant officers, if indeed they exist.
You know, the best form of attack, or the best form of defense, as it were, is to attack. You know, the concern, the interest of the numerous public, the various publics that we serve, is of much concern to us. And so we think that when we educate them, we educate the public, we'll be attaining our goal rather than to wait and try to get the perpetrators. That will be a bit reactionary, by which time a lot of members of the public would have been duped or would have been defrauded. And so we thought that the best form of handling this issue at this particular point in time is to educate them and let them know that what they might be taking through doesn't exist, so that they will be wary and avoid falling victims.
Kindly stay on the line for me, DSP Arthur. Last year, the Ghana Integrity Initiative released a report that ranked the police as the most corrupt institution in the country. Out of the sample size of 2,100, close to 1,300 respondents felt that the police service was extremely corrupt. Now, has the service done enough to deal with corruption within its ranks? Vitus Azim is Executive Director of the GII. He joins me on the line right now. Ms. Azim, on this spot fine fraud issue, it's clear that it is the police administration that is blowing the whistle on itself, but is that enough?
Well, it may not be enough, but then it is a good, it's a step in the right direction. You know, it moves away from the normal security agencies' tendency to always defend their own, even if it involves individuals. So I think it's a good, it's a step in the right direction that they have blown this whistle, not only to get, not only to alert the public, the public to this act, but also to let Ghanaians know that, and the police service know that the police is serious about ensuring that there is a decency in the work of the police.
Let me come back to you, DSP Arthur. This spot fine regime, for many on the streets, having heard the announcement, they give us a sense that they believe that that could be a ground for some corruption on the part of the officers. We spoke to a number of people on the streets who are anticipating the implementation of this spot fine. I wanted to listen to what they told us.
We have to do is the person who is going to write the fine for you, we have to check that person too, because otherwise it will be like the same thing. You stop you, they take money from you and put it in their pocket. Because if you say I should pay a fine and I say I don't have it, you say, oh, you fine me 50 Ghana, I say I don't have, I have 20 Ghana. You collect the 20 Ghana from you as well and put it into his pocket. But so what they have to do, they just give you a ticket and leave you and go. Then you go to the court to go and pay there. Then they will tell you that you have to pay a fine. It will be the same thing what they are doing. Nothing will change it.
Actually, it's a law. So whoever will misbehave, they have to be sanctioned. You understand? Whether civilian or policeman, they send it to the police station, whatever they have to deal with him, you have to deal with him. Don't steal money from people.
And we have to go through the right channel to get it passed into law. Then it becomes effective. Then they can apply it. Until that, anybody takes money for that purpose, it's illegal. And the law must deal with the person. I think we should be educating the citizenry. So once you know our right, you don't even fall prey to them in the first place. Because I will ignore them anyway if they come up to that one.
The matter they bring are no good. I said, like, you take you go for court, it's good. The one will stop for the road to find you, no good.
DSP Arthur, if you listen to that, there's this underlying fear that the yet to be implemented spot fine might be a fertile ground for some corruption. I wonder what measures you put in place to ensure that does not happen.
Thank you very much. You see, the fears and the concerns being expressed by various members of the public concerning this issue could be genuine. And steps have been taken in this direction to ensure the integrity of the regime. And the first step, for instance, is that we are not collecting the fine at the spot. What is happening is that when you defraud or when you offend and you have to go and pay it, you are given the ticket and you go and pay it into a bank account or at a bank. That is one step to eliminate the possibility of getting corrupted by this regime. Other issues will be put on the ground, including monitoring, visiting of officers at the various points. Another one is the fact that it's not just any police officer who can take the sport fine, and any group of police officers who intend to take the sport fine must have among them a policeman of the rank of inspector or above with them. And you see, that is a way to minimize the abuse of the regime. So the public should rest assured that a lot of measures are being put in place. Some of them we cannot put on air immediately. As the time gets closer, we'll be enumerating some of these things and educating the public some more. So we can be assured that as far as corrupting the regime is concerned, we shall record the most minimal occurrences.
Mr. Azim, are you satisfied with those measures you just heard?
Well, I think that there's a lot more that can be done. Any new initiative that people are trying to put in place to improve upon the system, people always express doubts because some of these things have happened before and not yielded the desired results. So, well, it's good for them to start implementing it. And then as they go, some of the issues will come up. One of the things will be determining the amount. You see, the amount should be such that you will not be tempted to give a smaller amount to the police officer who stops you. The effort involved in driving to the bank to pay the money should be such that you will not prefer to give the money to the policeman on the spot rather than spend about an hour through traffic to go and pay the money to the bank. Then there's a lot of public education that needs to be done. That one, you are paying the money. If you pay the money to the bank, it goes to the state. That is to reduce corruption in the police and improve upon the public image of the police. But added to all these things should be that there should be stiff sanctions against police officers that are involved to have gone against the law. So these are some of the things that they can do, and more will come up for them to improve upon it. But I think that it's better to start than to say that, oh, after all, it will not succeed. I think that is not the best. Maybe the police can also provide a toll-free number that you can call and report where the police solicits and says, oh, why don't you give me 10 cedis instead of going to the bank to pay 50 cedis? We should be reporting such people for appropriate action to be taken. And maybe some amount of protection for people who report so that the police, those that are reported, if they get fired, they will not go after the public people, the public that has reported them. So yes, it is a good thing. Let's start it and see how it goes. And then as we go along, they can improve upon it. I think it's better than to say, oh, it's not going to work, let's forget about it. Remember that there are also some people who are benefiting from the present system that will not like the improved system. So they are also likely to raise some of these concerns just because they don't want that system in place.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Zim. DSP Arthur, aside this particular issue, we understand there's some other statements that we can expect from the police service about some demonstration of a sort. Can you give us more on that?
Just a hint on that, as I'm yet to have an access to it myself. It is just about the fact that the police are calling on the general public to kind of defer requests or notification of the police for what we call it demonstrations and other things until further notice. And when you get it, the detail will be made known to you, and you can then educate the general public. But let me also clarify one issue.
Please do.
One of the factors that has tempted motorists most to corrupt police officers who arrest them for having committed one or the other offense is the fact or is the fear of being paraded before court. And the fact that now when you offend and you are arrested, you are not going to be paraded before court, but you are going to be fined, and you could go to any bank or a bank to be designated for you to go and pay into, will also motivate them not to even pander to the whims and caprices of any miscreant policeman who might want to extort money from
and you make the point that you are sending out a team of detectives to look for these fraudulent men in uniform. Are they already out already, and what exactly will be their remit?
They are going to be sent abroad, I mean, all over the cities to ensure that these issues that we are hearing, that some miscreant police officers, be police officers in actuality or just fake ones, are going about extorting money from drivers in the name of spot fine, are brought to book. So they are going to serve as a kind of a check on anybody who might want to take any step in this direction, so that we have a clean state of affairs before the introduction of the sport fund.
DSP Arthur, thank you very much for your time. LA Head Vitus Asimi, the Executive Director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative. My name is Evans Mensah. If you join us on Newsnight, we'll bring you the very latest as far as the doctor strike is concerned. Also, is this a controversy, really, between Ghana and Ivory Coast as far as the discovery of oil by Total along the border region of the country bordering Côte d'Ivoire is concerned? Join us for the answers on Newsnight.